This is a complete tutorial on how to sell on Etsy. Hey, what's up? My name is George and welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to show you how to sell on Etsy and how to create a passive source of income that makes you money while you sleep. A quick disclaimer before we start. The strategy that I'm going to be discussing in this video does not require you to make products by hand, and it does not require you to buy products in bulk. Matter of fact, with this strategy, you can get started with as little as $50 and make your first sale within the first couple of days. This strategy is based around selling print-on-demand products. I'm going to cover how to find products that actually sell and how to build a system that grows by itself every single day. I know that it sounds too good to be true, but do keep in mind that you will need to put a lot of work in the beginning to get to that level where your business is going to be able to start growing by itself. So if you are willing to put a lot of work first to build a system that is going to just make money and reinvest back into itself so it continually grows, then trust me, this video is for you. After doing e-commerce for 5 years, I can tell you with certainty that the biggest problem when it comes to online business is traffic. If you don't know what traffic is, it's basically getting people to visit your store. So why is it the biggest problem? Because think about it this way. If you open up a physical location store, let's say on the main street, you won't need to spend any money on advertising to get people to visit your store, because people are already walking on that main street and some of them are going to walk into your store. So when you're opening up a physical location store, the rent is going to be very high, but with that, you're also getting a piece of an existing traffic. On the flip side, opening up an online store is completely opposite. It costs very little to open an online store and it's very simple. You can have your store live in 30 minutes or less, but the big problem is that no one knows about your store. Your little online business is lost among millions of other websites and it will stay that way unless you do something about it. And the only way to get people to visit your store is to drive traffic. There are many different ways to get traffic to your store and it's a whole art of its own. But the overall idea is that you need to pay money to get people to visit your store. And quality traffic is not cheap. For example, it costs approximately $1 to get a person to visit your online store for the search term funny candles. So if you spend $100, you are going to have 100 people visit your online store. The next question is, how many people out of those 100 are going to buy from you? On average, if you do everything correctly, you are going to have about 2% of those people buy from you. That translates into 2 sales from your $100 investment. Now, the question is, are you making money, losing, or breaking even? And that's a good question. Let's say you're selling your candles for $24.95 and they cost you $10. So your profit margin is $15 from every candle sold. Let's assume that you sold 3 candles from that $100 investment. So one person bought 1 candle and the other person bought 2 candles. That means that you spent $100 to make $45 in profit. But because you spent $100 to get $45 in profit, you're actually $55 in the negative. And this is what I mean when I say that traffic is expensive and it's very hard to build a profitable online business. But with that being said, there is a solution to this problem. And the solution is to place your products in places with existing traffic. These places are called marketplaces. And the marketplace that we're going to discuss in this video is called, drumroll please, Etsy. The main advantage of selling on Etsy is their existing traffic. However, this doesn't mean that we won't have to pay for Etsy's traffic. But the biggest benefit for us as sellers is that we don't have to pay for traffic up front. We are actually going to pay Etsy only after we make a sale, which is Very nice. So let's say, for example, that we sell those same candles and we make that same $15 profit from every candle sold. However, if we're selling on Etsy, we don't actually have to pay to get people to visit our store and to buy our products, because Etsy is going to be doing that for us. And once we do make this sale, we are going to pay Etsy anywhere from $5 to $10. So after we deduct the cost that we're going to pay to Etsy, we are left with approximately $5 profit. And I'm sure that you can agree with me that making even a small profit is better than losing money. And so with that in mind, let's talk about how to sell on Etsy, how to maximize your sales, and how to build a stream of income that is going to make you money while you sleep. I have this whole system in mind that I would like to share with you. It's quite complex, but it's very interesting. So my strategy is based around maximizing the number of listings on your store, because I found that the more listings you have on your store, the higher your chance of finding a product that is actually going to sell. Because not all products that you're going to list on your store are going to sell. However, if you have 100 products and you found 2 products that are going to sell, well, those 2 products are going to be worth all that time that you spent uploading those 100 products onto your store. So the first step with my strategy is to understand that the more listings you have on your Etsy store, the more money you're going to be making. The second thing I recommend is you start selling just 1 product, and later on you can expand to more products. And the reason you want to do that is you want to dominate one specific keyword, because you want the Etsy algorithm to know that when it comes to the search term funny candles, you are the go-to store. Now let's get into it step by step. So first, you open up your Etsy store. I won't go over this because it's super simple and there are a lot of videos on YouTube that walk you through it. Second, you need to start adding products to your Etsy store. You can do this either manually inside of Etsy, or you can create products in your print-on-demand supplier and then push them directly through an integration from your print-on-demand supplier onto Etsy. If this sounds complicated, don't worry, it's actually very simple. I'm going to explain it just in a second. So for this strategy, we're going to be using a print-on-demand supplier like Printful.com or PrintedMint.com or Gelato.com. They basically do everything for you. You just upload the designs and they're going to print it or embroider it and then send it to your customer. So all you have to do is just create the designs and then actually sell them. Now, the best part is that those print-on-demand suppliers have a direct integration with Etsy. With this strategy, you don't have to worry about fulfillment. Everything is going to be done for you. The grand idea is to have as many listings as possible of the same product with different designs. Let's take this store as an example. It has 25 designs and 15 sales. But what if she had 10 times more listings? Would that mean that she would have 10 times more sales? Well, maybe. And from my experience, that's the case. The more listings you have, the more sales you have. The challenge here is to create many listings, because that is quite complicated. And here's an important disclaimer. Only a small fraction of your products are going to make up the majority of your sales. So let's say, for example, you upload 100 products. Only 2 products may make up 98% of all of your sales. So now let's talk about the actual designs of your products. You don't need to sit there and come up with these great designs for what you think is going to sell. Matter of fact, if you do that, you are pretty much guaranteed to fail, because what you like and what you think is going to sell is probably not what the market wants. I see people doing this mistake over and over again. They come up with a brand name, they come up with a brand idea, they create these products, they publish them, and then they think, why is no one buying it? And the reason is very simple. They like the design, they like the product, and they think that everyone else is going to like it as well. But the chances of that are so slim, it's incredible. So instead, and this is the proven strategy, is you need to go to the market and you need to see what is already selling. And then all you need to do is just take that design, replicate it, and create the exact same product with that exact same design. At first, it might not sound that exciting, but trust me, it's much easier to sell something that the market already wants than to create demand. Creating demand is very difficult, but satisfying demand is a lot easier. So you don't actually need to sit there and think, well, what design is going to sell? All you got to do is just search your keyword. Let's say, for example, is funny candles, and replicate every single design that you can do. Just go through it one by one and replicate every design. And please note that I don't mean to steal it, but what I'm saying is replicate it. Stealing is when you literally take that photo and add it to your listing. But replicating is when you try and replicate that design as closely as possible and then use it on your own product. I highly suggest you get Photoshop and you learn how to use it because this is essential. However, if you don't have it, that's fine. You can use a free online software called canva.com. Creating these designs is going to take most of your time, and that's okay. Because once you start generating income from your Etsy store, you can then take that money and reinvest it back into hiring freelancers who are going to be doing this work for you. And this is where you start to build a money printing machine. Remember how I said in the beginning of this video that you will need to put a lot of work into it to get the ball rolling? Well, that's true. Maybe you will need to replicate 200-300 designs to get a couple of listings that are going to start selling every single day. But once you do have those listings that are selling, that's when you can start to take that money and reinvest it back into your small business. And this is where things get very interesting. So now, instead of doing it yourself, you can take that little money that you're making and you can hire freelancers to do all of that work for you, because the work you're doing can be easily replicated by another person. So what you will need to do is you will need to create an SOP, which is a standard operating procedure document. Okay, that's all official, where it outlines exactly step by step, meticulously, what are the steps in creating these listings, exactly the way you do it. So it might be number one, I search for this keyword. Number two, I take this design. Number three, I replicate it doing this method. Once you have that SOP, you then go to a website called onlinejobs.ph or fiverr.com or upwork.com, and you look for a freelancer who will be able to do this work for you. You will need to take a little bit of time to train that freelancer on how to do it, but once they get a gist of it, they're going to start doing it by themselves. And you can agree to pay them, for example, per design uploaded. So let's say, for example, you say, hey, for every design that you're going to upload, I'm going to pay you $2. And even if you have money to pay a freelancer right now, I still recommend you go through the whole procedure yourself first, so you can actually learn the whole process to then better delegate and better outsource to other people. So start yourself first, learn everything. It's very simple, and then once you get a hang of it, then you can outsource to other people and start to grow your business. And eventually, if you do everything right, what you're going to get is a money printing machine that grows by itself. Honestly, I wish I was there with you personally to share how excited I am about this, but you can probably see through the screen. And I know this might be super confusing and overwhelming at first, which is why I created a step-by-step in-depth tutorial on how to actually do this. If you're interested, it costs only $47. I wanted to make it as affordable as possible for everyone out there. So if you're watching this and you got excited about this, you can find the link is going to be down in the description. It's a PDF step-by-step tutorial on how to create a printing money machine on Etsy using the strategy that I outlined in this video. So get yourself a copy. It's only 47 bucks. The link is down in the description. And with that being said, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, if you found this valuable, please make sure to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And on this note, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Till next time.